Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, and you're listening to Incredible Life Creator Podcast. My guest today is Dawna Campbell. Hey, Dawna, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Kimberly?
I'm great. This is our second go around here having you on the podcast, and I'm very excited because you have something new that you're doing, and so we wanted to highlight that.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me back again. It was a pleasure and an honor, and to come back, wow, thank you.
Yeah, so just so people can get to know you, tell us kind of your background and what you do and what we'll be talking about today.
Okay, so formerly I was a financial advisor and a managing principal of an investment firm. And throughout my life, I had some challenges, all in the areas of health. I had challenges in the area of wealth, and then, of course, challenges in my own relationship. So all of that turned me towards natural healing. And throughout the last 12 years, I've been working more as a healer. I have an international practice. I have a book, Financially Fit. It's a best-selling book. And then I'm also a professional speaker, sharing the tips and techniques that I have learned over the last 25 years, how to create a life that you love to live and live to love, actually. And so I get known today as the mind whisperer in the media world for that instantaneous change we are all looking for.
Wonderful. Yeah, we are all looking for that right now, especially with everything changing all the time. It's like, okay, where are my feet? Where do I go from here? So that is wonderful. So now you have something that you're doing, that an offer that you have for people, and let's talk about that.
Yes. From the Financially Fit book, I created a program called the Financially Fit program. And what I'm doing with the program is over 2 days is I'm teaching not only the techniques that I've learned from some of the other natural healers, like a medicine woman, a yogic healer, but I'm also putting together some of your own custom work in a group setting. So I'm going to teach the various aspects of all the pieces that are needed to go in to learn for you how to shift and change vibration and frequency instantaneously. So what I'm going to share with you is not just the law of attraction, which is how our thoughts create our reality, but how to go underneath that to change the energy, which is a feeling or an emotion that fuels that thought into existence. So I'm going to show how to work with the law of magnetism to start bringing to you the things that you are asking for.
Okay. So talk more about that. So, um, you know, just from a practical standpoint, we think, well, we go to work and we make money, or we have a business and we make money. So where does this other stuff come in that you're talking about as far as attraction and
Mhm.
magnetizing, and explain
Yeah.
that?
Okay. So, what happens if you want to create more income, for example, and you are a business owner and you want to expand your business and it's just not happening? Well, there's something that's inside within you that is stopping that energy from allowing the business to expand, because your business runs off of you and your own energy, because without it, it's not going to do anything. It's just there. It doesn't have a form. You are the one that gives your business the form. So we want to expand our business. For example, it's just not expanding. We've been doing this for 2 years. We're not growing in the direction we want. And all we get and all we feel is frustrated. And that frustration is somewhere locked up in the body. And oftentimes it's usually in the chest cavity or in the stomach area. And then we can go back to an originating event to see where that frustration originally got stuck. Because our thought is we want to expand business, but the fuel we're giving the expansion is frustration. So the universe is always going to return frustration. But when we uncover where that frustration originated from, in this particular example, it's a true example of a client of mine. He went back to the time where his parents got divorced and the more and the extra got divided up. And each family was comfortable, but they didn't have what they wanted to go do all the extra fun things, which was his goal. And what we uncovered, what he needed was a sense of pride and a sense of accomplishment. So, what we did was we shifted that frequency from frustration to the sense of pride and accomplishment, which that energy now fueled. I want to expand my business. So, his business expanded because he put the proper fuel in. A lot of times we ask for, I want to have abundance, I want to have prosperity, but yet deep down we feel lack or unworthy or that we're undervalued and unappreciated. Well, that's the wrong fuel to say, bring me richness, abundance, and prosperity, because it's the opposite. So, what I teach people how to do is align the energy, the feelings and emotions to the thought. So it's aligning the law of magnetism with the law of attraction. And when that happens, you get results 100% of the time.
Mhm. So you find out what it is that caused the initial thought or feeling. So there's a thought that someone forms, or some belief or some idea they decide that something means. Basically, they're giving something some meaning at some point,
Yes,
and then that affects their life. Not probably not just even financial. I would think it would affect their lives in their
everything.
relationships or in other areas.
Absolutely. And that's exactly how it works, because we are like radio towers and transmitters and receivers. So if we're sending out the signal of frustration, frustration is returning to you, not just financially in that example, but in your relationships. It will start forming density in the body and start breaking down your health. That particular gentleman felt a huge knot in his stomach and felt nauseous and sick all the time. And when that vibration changed to what he needed to make his thought bring into existence what he was asking for, that nauseousness, that knot was instantly gone. So it affects all areas of your life, because the universe returns to you the main frequency you are sending out. No, it doesn't compartmentalize, it doesn't separate. It's like, it doesn't go, oh, it's only this category, but not that one. No, it just returns the frequency you're sending out, and it doesn't have any other connotation. We're the ones that divide and separate and do that. But it's all in how the subconscious works. And that's what I'm going to show everybody in the course.
Cool. So, you hear there's just so many people talking about law of attraction. They had that famous movie out several years ago, The Secret.
Yes.
And, they say, well, if you were thinking about something and it manifested right away, and they showed the example of someone thinking about an elephant and it showing up in his living room,
Mhm.
wouldn't work so well. So, um, 'cause there's so much out there on that, and
Yeah.
some people go, "Oh, yeah, this is working great." And some people are like, "Oh, that stuff doesn't work." I think I've been doing this and it's not working. So, what's the difference between what you're doing? How do you take the law of attraction, but then actually make those changes? Because there's more steps than a lot of people know.
Right. There is. There is. And I think it's helpful to understand just a little bit about how the subconscious works. So the subconscious is recording everything in your life as a literal event. And it starts from the day that you're born to the day you exit this earth. And it just records everything. But then what it's doing is it's assigning your emotions and feelings to those events moment by moment. Now, the problem with this is that our awareness level of the emotions and the feelings that got associated with the event is only about 10%. Scientists measured Albert Einstein's brain, his awareness level was 10%. So that means 90% of the time we are simply unaware of how we're feeling in the moment that gets associated with the event. And then the subconscious creates an automated response system for us to operate by. So if we are constantly putting in, say, anger or depression or anxiety or stress or worry, that's our operating system. And it gets associated to all these events. And that pattern repeats. So then the next thing you know, when you're asking for this things that you want to have come into your life, it doesn't happen because the stress, the worry, the pressure, all of that blocks it from coming in because we ask for the good things.
Mhm.
We ask for more money. We ask for that relationship. We ask for that soulmate. We ask for our health to be better. And we want the good things, but we're giving it the not so good things to bring in the good things. We're giving it stress instead of happiness. And so the first step is to uncover the awareness of how you truly feel in each and every moment, because then we can go to the opposite emotion or feeling or back to an event where we first felt that and understand where it got started, why it was there, and what we need to change it to. So it's just like driving your car. Your car takes a certain type of fuel. There's regular gasoline, there's diesel, there's different grades, there's electric, there's hybrid. But if you put the wrong fuel in your car's not going to go anywhere. If you put the wrong fuel, which for us humans is feelings and emotions, into you, your thought isn't going to go anywhere. So it has to be in alignment. So just like The Secret, yes, your thoughts can instantly manifest and create, but it has to have the proper feel, the proper emotion and feeling associated with the thought for it to happen instantaneously.
So let's say we go and we find those thoughts and we recognize them
Mhm.
and we switch them to something that's more beneficial to help us actually attract what we want. How do we keep ourselves from going back? Like, habits die hard, so,
Yes.
how it's so easy to go back into the default, or if you're stressed or whatever, you go back into the default. I know I have that issue with eating. I get stressed. Oh, I want that chocolate all of a sudden,
Right?
So how do
Yes.
we keep from going back there and experiencing that, what we
When you
don't want?
when you get to the root of the originating event and you uncover what it was really needing at that time, the change takes place in the brain, in the synapse between the two neurons. And then what happens is you get a chemical flush that goes through the entire body and it happens really fast. So if you were to rub an onion on the bottom of your foot, you would taste it in your mouth in a matter of moments. So it's not just saying, I'm going to change stress into peace. It's really experiencing the peace in the moment to create that chemical of the feeling peace in the brain and it just automatically runs through the body. So when that happens, that's the system override, let's say, and then you invoke that new feeling. And because of that, it starts a new operating system because peace is a higher frequency than stress. And because of that, it's going to default to the higher frequency every single time. Now, it's not going to say you're not going to experience stress at all. Stress is multifaceted. So it might have been financial stress that would have shifted and cleared, but there's also emotional stress. So there might be little pieces in there and different events stress may have gotten associated with, and you might have needed something a little bit different other than peace. That was how it was with the word resentment. I worked on clearing resentment for a really long time because someone told me that I had resentment towards my mom. And so I worked on that for several years until all of the resentment that I felt was gone. And now I have complete forgiveness, complete compassion, complete understanding with everything. And I have no animosity whatsoever, probably for the last, oh my goodness, 8 years or so. And it's never returned, it's never come back up. So if you imagine yourself like a shiny jewel, you're going to start polishing all of the different sides, and we keep polishing until it's completely gone. So sometimes you do go back to that default after something's changed. That has happened to me. And then I went, whoa, where did that come from? That was so foreign. And I heard, well, we just wanted you to know the state that you normally lived in. It's not who you are today, but that was the energy. And it was like, wow, I don't think I ever want to experience that again because I went back to a default mechanism. It'd been a couple of years and it really shook me because it was, wow, no, this isn't even close to who I am today, but it made me realize how far I had really come with this work for myself.
Yeah, wonderful. And I'm thinking you said a word that comes up a lot when we're healing, and that's forgiveness. What does
Yeah.
forgiveness have to do with it?
Forgiveness to me is not saying what you did or what they did was right or wrong, or keep doing it, or forgiveness to me is forgiving yourself this pure unconditional love energy. And it's saying, I'm no longer going to hurt myself with the energy I held on to, whether it be anger, being upset, being frustrated, whatever it was that I put inside of me. Because when I feel that, I'm only hurting myself. It doesn't, has nothing to do with the other person. And when I say I'm going to forgive, I'm forgiving myself for holding on to that emotion, that energy, and I'm just going to replace it with this pure essence of love because I love me. And that's what forgiveness is for me. It doesn't have anything to do with another person. It's just, I'm going to go to the highest frequency now because I'm done with the lower emotions. So this whole transformation process is really all about self-forgiveness in the end.
Mhm. So when we're in those lower emotions, it's really hard to attract what we want, whether it be money or happy relationships or success, whatever it is. It's really hard for us to really attract that because our I'm just kind of summarizing here, because our mind is putting out a different frequency than what we're asking for.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's how it works with the law of magnetism, because that is sending out the energy from the heart space, how you feel on that deeper subconscious level, although your thought might be something different. Absolutely.
Mhm.
There are conscious ways to override it too. And a lot of people talk about that. Affirmations is one of them. But for that affirmation to really send out a different signal, you have to say it like 300 to 400 times a day for like 3 months for it to change versus this, which happens instantaneously.
I was gonna say that sounds like too much work, doesn't it?
That sounds like a lot of work. It does work, but it's a lot of work.
Exactly. Exactly. So now you have a training coming up teaching people actually how to do this. So why don't you talk about that?
Yes. Every 4 to 6 weeks, maybe every 8 weeks, I have ongoing courses. It's a 2-day class, the Financially Fit program. And each day we have a little bit of a different scope, but there's some similarities. So we're going to start off the day with some of the different meditations that I utilize, which are just simple exercises that focus the brain to focus the energy so you know how to direct it. And meditation is not sitting around going om, or it's really about invoking a certain brain wave pattern. And I'm going to show you how to do that because that's where the changes take place. I'm also going to show you the method that the medicine woman taught me called pivot and shift, how to go in and make these internal changes yourself from stress to peace, or from frustration to a sense of accomplishment, or anger to happiness, whatever is going on emotionally to what you're asking for. And there's a couple different levels to that. I'm also going to share a custom closing meditation based on the group and what those frequencies and energies are, so we can release and eliminate again, and that they'll be able to take with them the lower vibrating emotions and then bring in the high vibrating emotions for them that they can utilize on a daily basis. I'm going to talk about our self-sabotaging afterthoughts and the energy we get caught up in that shuts everything down energetically for us. And I'm going to talk about, the 3 keys to opening up all the prosperity doors, the energy we need to be in so all of the good things come. We write a client affluence story. There's a lot in the program in those Tuesdays, but it's a step-by-step. I'm going to teach you how to go in, how to shift and change and clear. There's really 3 processes. It's discover, release, and transform. So I call it the DIRT method. So we're
Mhm.
going to discover what these lower emotions are and where it got stuck. We're going to release them and we're going to transform them into something better. And that's the whole 2-day class, is how to do this on this level for yourself.
Wonderful. And when is your next class coming up?
I have a class here coming the end near the, well, mid-August here. And then the very end of September will be the next one. And then after that will probably be November. So just stay tuned to the website. I'm always posting new dates for the course.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you tell us your website?
It is just simply DawnaCampbell.com. Pretty
Oh,
easy. So yes.
that's really, really easy. Anything else you'd like to share that people should know about your course, or any other last words of advice?
One of my favorite sayings, I went through a bunch of difficult times years and years ago, which taught me this whole mind-body connection and how it relates to you and the emotions and your health and everything that I've been talking and sharing about. And one of the things that I discovered working with clients was that they were saying, I want to know that I'm enough, or that I'm valued and that I'm worthy, but they didn't necessarily feel that. And those were some of the same words we used in the financial world. And when those came into alignment, even if we were working on a different topic, then their financial situation always increased as well. And this has worked around the world internationally in many countries. And I've been utilizing these techniques for the last 12 years. So it's time to take the message, share it with the world. And I'm just going to leave with a mantra that I wrote from all of those difficult times, which has some of the 3 keys to opening up those prosperity doors. And it is: trust and you will see, believe and you will know, have faith, all is well, follow your heart, and spirit will lead you.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Dawna.
Thank you.
Yes, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you so much.